if I don't have like a goal for myself for like my life, it's just going to end up being someone else's vision for us. Whether that be, oh, we just make our way up in this company. If that's what you want to do, great. But if it's not and you end up there, then you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be satisfied. Just cute, basic makeup, nothing like crazy. It's like, I'm going to work, you know? First thing I noticed about being an adult is how much you have to learn to trust yourself, especially when it comes to career and romantic relationship. Career can be super tricky, I feel like, for young adults and people around my age, because you may not know what you want to do yet, or you may know what you want to do and there's a barrier to entry, or just this feeling that maybe it's like above your head somehow. You may know what you want to do, but it's not currently making money. So having to balance that dream with your regular day job, there's a lot of trust you have to put in yourself to choose the right career for yourself. And just like trusting your own opinion. When you're a kid, you constantly have people telling you what to do, and you're just automatically just like a listener, more of a receptacle for information, and you're not necessarily making your own decisions yet. Once you get to a certain age, you kind of have to just figure out things out for yourself, or take people's information and learn what you can and still make sure that you're making the right decision for yourself. That also goes for romantic relationships. You kind of have to trust yourself in knowing what kind of person would be a good fit for you. Trust yourself in when you feel kind of off about somebody, like even if they haven't specifically done anything wrong, just trust that maybe your body or your gut is telling you that this person isn't right. And that doesn't mean that like the relationship's bad, but it just means that they're just not your person, and you have to trust yourself in that. A lot of people end up making the wrong decision when it comes to romantic relationships and romantic feelings, and it literally ruins their lives. So it's good to know early on like your boundaries and what you won't and will not accept from a partner. And being a young adult, that's like kind of when you figure that out, or at least for me, because I didn't really date in like high school and stuff. So my next one, people suddenly care what you have to say. I've experienced this a lot with like family. I'm not like blaming anybody, but it's just like interesting. I feel like when I was younger, you know, I was very like outspoken about my like political beliefs, like because I was very politically aware as a child. Like that 12, 13 area when like kids started to go on Tumblr, I was on Tumblr every single day, and I was just absorbing like, I guess, just different ways of thinking, and I became like very active about like political matters were important to me. I was more active politically as a teenager than I am now. But that being said, I feel like sometimes when I was like just really like passionate about a certain topic or like a certain, I guess, belief system, a lot of the adults around me like wouldn't really take it as seriously just because of my age, and there was kind of that notion that, oh, like she doesn't really like know what she's talking about. But I feel like now, even if people don't agree with me, they will seriously take what I'm saying into consideration. Okay, so this next topic is, I want to say it's about routine and like scheduling. From like when I was in college to now, I am like 10 times busier. You kind of have to build your schedule around the work that you do. And this can really, really suck if you don't really like what you're doing. It almost becomes imperative that you get hobbies that you enjoy and like find a passion outside of work, or your life can feel extremely monotonous and it just feels like it's the same thing every single day. Like for me, I feel like YouTube is really good for me for that. Now I have a creative outlet. I have something outside of work that I can put my energy into and enjoy. And I think that is necessary for everybody. When I was a kid or like when I was in school, I wasn't really thinking about, oh, like my schedule. I kind of just did whatever. But now it's like, okay, I have to do this by that time so that I can get to sleep by this time, so that I can wake up by this time, so that I can have enough time to myself before I go to work. I leave work, I have a couple hours a day that I can do what I want, and then it's like, okay, I have to go to sleep so I can wake up so I can go to work. work. It's really important that you fill your free time with things that you genuinely enjoy, because I know it can be very easy to just like go on your phone and just like check out, but that leaves you feeling very empty and like your life is all about work. This can really suck, because I think it's like 70% of Americans that don't enjoy their job. So when they feel like their lives are just their job, they don't enjoy their life. This kind of segues into my next topic, which was I feel very busy because I do have a lot of hobbies. I feel like it's hard for me to manage with working, learning new things, spending time with friends, spending time with family. And it's like right now, I feel like I don't even almost have a right to feel that way because I don't have kids or a spouse or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, like it's gonna be a lot harder in the future. So I'm like, okay, let me try to just accept that being busy is just part of being an adult. Unless it's not, please give me some time management tips. As a kid, I was very in the moment. I didn't think too much about the consequences of my actions or where I wanted to go in life. I was just always kind of waiting for that next age. I wanted to be 16 because being 16 was like meant I was a real teenager. I wanted to be 18 so that I could be an adult. I wanted to be 21 so I could drink and do all the things. And now I'm 23 and I'm kind of like, okay, well, I get this kind of like this is it feeling, and it's like, okay, nothing more is coming unless I make it come. I feel like a lot about adulthood is kind of shifting towards this longer term thinking, like what do I want in the next 5 years, 10 years? Instead of being super in the moment, having more long-term goals. Because when I was a kid, my goals were like graduate 4th grade, graduate 5th grade. Like everything is very mapped out for us from the beginning. And then you get around this age, 22, 23, and it's like, okay, if I don't have like a goal for myself for like my life, it's just going to end up being someone else's vision for us. Whether that be, oh, we just make our way up in this company. If that's what you want to do, great. But if it's not and you end up there, then you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be satisfied. I'm experienced a lot of changes in my body, specifically like changes in my tastes, like in food. When I was younger, like honestly, up until like this year or last year, my diet was horrendous. There are foods that I would eat that would literally send me into a coma right now. I remember when I was in like 11th grade, my breakfast every single morning was a brown sugar Pop-Tart and a can of Sprite. If I had that now, I would literally not be able to function. I would probably have to like sleep all day. And I just feel like I've gotten more of a taste for better foods, better ingredients. The other thing I want to talk about is how much harder it is to make and maintain friendships. So I do think people talk about this a lot, but it's so crazy how real it is. And this kind of intertwines also with how busy you get. Once I graduated college, there weren't as many opportunities to meet people my age. When I was in school, you know, I was living in dorms amongst people my age. They were just always there. Like you couldn't really escape it. It was a community. But now, since I don't really work with anyone my age, I feel very separated from people my age. It's not that often that I'm just seeing them out and about. I think I took for granted like how common like young adults are in college. Like there are no parties. Like I'm not constantly in classes with them. But usually by the time that I've worked the whole day and like worked on some hobbies that I have, it's time to go to sleep and go back to work where there are still no people my age. It takes a lot of concerted effort to make those friends and to plan stuff out with them and to keep in touch with them, because I feel like work drains people so much to the point where that's not even on their mind. Like friendship isn't on their mind. And I think that's also a part of the reason why around this age people start pairing off, getting into long-term serious relationships, because it's not as easy to find community. Speaking of pairing off, I also noticed, this is just an aside, but I also noticed that like adults in my family have become super concerned with what's happening in my love life. And I feel like the tone changed so quickly from like never talk to boys, never look at boys are a distraction, to like, oh, like when are you getting married? And maybe that's just like an immigrant child thing, but I do not like that. I don't like it. First of all, I feel like the expectation changed so quickly, and I don't know, I just find it kind of like awkward, annoying, especially when like I'll meet like a distant relative or like an aunt or something, or like one of my mom's friends, and she'll be like, oh, like let me give you my grandson's number or my son's number. Like, actually, let's like actually just not do that. So something I noticed as an adult, it's much easier to become dependent on substances than I would have once thought. I feel like once we were all in the DARE program, you know, we got our little black and red shirts, and we were just like, yeah, like obviously like don't do anything that's bad for you because that's stupid. But I feel like once life starts to get a little bit harder, it's more easier to see how people can just fall into these cycles, whether it be alcohol, any type of drugs, or any addiction in general. Like, especially since the society we're in kind of just promotes like, as long as you are able to get your job done and your work done, then you're good, you're a productive member of society if you're able to make money. So that kind of is like, okay, well, cool, if I'm addicted to drinking and I can still make money, then it's fine. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying this to judge anybody. It's just something I noticed that's like, oh, like it's not as easy as it seems to just like, oh, just say no, especially when the society you're living in prioritizes your productivity over your health. People can get addicted to like Adderall or even like caffeine that way, because it's like, okay, well, this helps my performance, this changes my mood so that I won't feel like shit at work. So it's like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And then another thing I noticed is how important it is to be a lifelong learner. I always was one of those people that was like, okay, once I graduate from college, then I'll never have to take a class again or learn again, and I'll be so grateful for that fact. But even just a year out of school, I'm learning, I guess, how important it is to continuously learn. It helps develop your cognitive abilities and just generally like keeps you on your toes and like mentally there. I think the issue that I was having earlier was that I kind of saw learning as this chore just because of how the school system was set up, and I feel like there was a lot of pressure for me to perform well in school, even at the expense of my mental health sometimes, just because of the type of background that I come from and the things that are valued in my family. So I always viewed school as this intense source of pressure as opposed to an opportunity to better my mind and learn about things that I might be interested in. Because even in college, when I was taking classes that I really enjoyed, I was so focused on the grade. I think now as an adult, I can really one, focus my attention and my energy into learning things that I am genuinely interested in. Like even now with YouTube, I love learning about like cameras and like microphones and like how to get better lighting and how to get the best shot. I can just really just focus on the things that I love learning instead of making it some big chore with a grade and, oh, if you don't get this grade, then you're not smart, comparing myself to my classmates. Yeah, it was a whole thing for me, but I feel like now I can just be more open to it and be more free with how I approach learning. But yeah, that's basically so far my observations about being an adult, and I'm sure they'll change as time goes on, but it's all very interesting. I feel like there's so much more that goes into it than just what it looked like on the outside. From when I was a kid, I was like, oh, like clubbing and like you get to go out with your friends, which is lit and fun, but like honestly, even like the stuff that I glamorized about adulthood, like partying and like drinking and stuff, is really not all that it's cracked up to be. And yeah, that's how I've been feeling, and I'm going to do my hair also, and then pick out an outfit, probably show you guys what I ended up wearing to work today. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of different type of topic for me, but I kind of wanted to try different things out with my channel and not just always talk about the same type of topic. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and this will probably cut to like when my full look is done. So I've been wearing my hair in these big like Victoria's Secret model-esque large curls, and I just love how it comes out when it's like freshly brushed. It looks so beautiful. And I just kind of toss it out, and I just love how much body it gives me. And let me take off this wig band because I can literally not even think my thoughts. It's so tight. Oh, I feel like that looks so good. And then I'm gonna show you guys my outfit. It's kind of basic, but I'll still show you. I'm wearing this green sweater. It's like dark green. And then I'm wearing like a black crop top. It's cold outside, but I like to dress in layers just in case it gets warmer. And then I'm wearing these flared airy leggings. I'm also carrying my Anthropologie bag and wearing these DSW loafers. So that's the end of the video. Let me know what you thought. Let me know how you guys have been feeling growing up and what your thoughts on adulthood are. And yeah,